Hello and welcome to this edition of Y-PAC CityCast. I'm Randy Beeler. Following a community reception on May 9th and a round of interviews on May 10th, the Yakima City Council voted unanimously to offer the Yakima City Manager position to Cliff Moore, who is currently the Thurston County Manager. Moore has been Thurston County Manager since 2013. His executive experience also includes serving as Director of Thurston County's Department of Resource Stewardship from 2009 to 2013, and as Director of Thurston County's Washington State University Cooperative Extension Office from 2004 to 2009. The finalist pool also included current Othello City Administrator Wade Ferris, Mike Jackson, who most recently served as Spokane Valley's City Manager, and Ruth Ozuna, who is currently an Assistant City Manager in Brownsville, Texas. In January of this year, the City Council launched a process to find a replacement for Tony O'Rourke, who served as Yakima City Manager from July of 2012 through December of 2015. From a total of 20 applicants, the Prothman Company, the executive search firm hired by the Council to recruit City Manager candidates, presented the Yakima Council with a pool of 8 semifinalists. During an April 25th executive session, the City Council reviewed the semifinalist pool and selected the 4 finalists during its May 3rd business meeting. At its May 3rd business meeting, the Yakima City Council voted 4-3 to have plans for the Yakima Central Plaza revisited and redesigned. The Council gave the designers of the plaza 60 days to come up with ideas that will reduce the estimated $14 million cost of the plaza. That work began immediately after the Council vote and is ongoing. It has been about 3 years since space currently used for parking was first considered as the site of a plaza that would play a key role in the evolving rejuvenation of downtown Yakima. Earlier this year, design firm Gustafson Guthrie Nickel completed engineering work on a plaza that would occupy the entire area north of Chestnut between 3rd Street and 2nd Street and include a water feature, a tree grove, a stage, a structure to serve as the permanent home of the Yakima Farmers Market, and more. The vote by the City Council on May 3rd included direction that the Gustafson firm also work on changes to the plaza design with Crandall Arambula, the consulting company that developed the Downtown Yakima Master Plan. A redesign of the plaza is expected to be presented to the Council in early July. Well, it's time for Yakima's trolleys to get rolling, and Yakima's most popular park continues to benefit from the generosity of local service clubs. With those stories, here's CityCast's Ken Crockett.
Thank you, Randy. Yakima Valley Trolleys are set to begin the 2016 season on Saturday, May 28th. The trolleys will operate on weekends and holidays through the end of September. Visitors to the trolley barns and museum on South 3rd Avenue will notice parking lot improvements, which also includes an electric vehicle charging station. The nearly $75,000 project was completed earlier this year and also features a porous asphalt surface to handle stormwater runoff. In 2015, a $230,000 state grant funded environmental cleanup work at the trolley barn site. While efforts are being made to secure equipment for removing a rock slide that has shut down the tracks to Selah, the trolleys will be running on the shorter Pine Street route. Keeping the interurban electric rail system running into the future remains a challenge. The Yakima City Council recently received a report putting the cost at nearly $9 million for track improvements and trolley renovation work. Thanks to the generosity of the Yakima Sunrise Rotary Club, work is now underway on construction of 2 new picnic shelters near the wildlife ponds at Randall Park. The 40-acre park has seen a lot of improvements in recent years, thanks to contributions made by local service clubs and other volunteer organizations. Those improvements include new playground equipment, replacing the basketball court, construction of an observation deck, and wildlife habitat improvements along White Hollow Creek. More work is being designed for the park thanks to a $500,000 state grant and private donations. The money will pay for construction of a new bathroom, rebuilding of pathways, reconstruction of parking lots, and a variety of other improvements, including pedestrian lighting and new signage and fencing. Back to you, Randy.
Thanks, Ken. When we come back, CityCast Sean Davido will tell you how important it is to prepare for the unexpected. You're watching Y-PAC's CityCast. Planning for something you hope will never happen is not an easy thing to accomplish, but making sure you and your family will be safe if disaster strikes is one of the most important steps you can take. To let you know why disaster planning is so important, here's CityCast's Sean Davido.
Thanks, Randy. I'm here at Chesterley Park where 36 years ago, thousands of tons of ash just like this were dumped here after the eruption of Mt St Helens, the largest natural disaster to ever hit Yakima. Now, anyone who was here during that time remembers the dark cloud that turned a spring day into night and that feeling of uncertainty. Even as a small child, I remember the reports, fears of crop damage and the long-lasting health effects from the ash, and my mother filling the bathtub with water just in case. Now, we didn't lose power that day, but it certainly was a scary situation, and many of us have been affected in more recent events with flooding and severe winter storms that can and have disabled services for days at a time to some areas. Now, since 1980, we've learned a lot about how to prepare for an emergency like a volcanic eruption and other disasters. And today we're looking at a few things to keep in mind in a real disaster situation here in Yakima. Now, we're here with Charles Irwin, the City of Yakima's emergency management specialist. Now, Charles, what are some of the disasters that are common in our area?
The ones that we focus on most would be floods,
Right.
whether river or creek flooding.
Right.
We have a severe winter and summer weather that
Right.
we're looking at. Obviously, earthquakes is a larger event. Volcanoes are still on there. And then chemical releases could be on the highway or railroads.
Charles, now what are some of the things that people can do to be prepared for an emergency?
We think there's 4 things that, regardless of the emergency, it doesn't have to be a major disaster, just an emergency. And one is to remember to call 911. If you need assistance, call 911. The other thing you need to be aware of is to have an emergency kit tailored to your particular needs. You need to make a plan, an emergency plan. And then third, you need to be informed of the different hazards that could be in your particular neighborhood.
So make sure you have a plan in place.
Yes.
And a place for your family to go, and have a kit ready with some of the essential stuff. What is some of the essential stuff that you might want to have in a kit like that?
What you've got to look at is what you deal with on a daily basis. So
Right.
if you have medications or you're on a special diet or something like that, then make sure you have sort of a get and go kit
Right.
that you could put those items in, be ready to move out. If the city recommends that you go to a particular evacuation center, then remember to take the things that you normally do on a day-to-day basis.
Right,
as
a little
far
bit
as
of food, some
food,
water,
yeah.
Warm clothes would be a good idea,
Yes, but
depending on the time of year.
time of year and where we would be locating you to an evacuation center for the city.
Now, where this information is available, where can people go to find this information?
On the Yakima Fire Department's website, we have a very informative brochure type thing, and then we're going to be distributing the special needs populations throughout the summer months.
Now, people should be prepared for a disaster or an emergency at any time, right?
At any time, it could be just in your neighborhood.
Right.
It could be a city-wide emergency. Right. And what the city's prepared to do is to notify the residents notify where they need to go and make protective measures.
All right, thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you.
And whether you're preparing for a volcanic eruption or maybe something a little less intense, it's still a stressful situation. So try to stay calm and use the resources available until help can get to you. And we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sean. And thank you, too, for joining us for this edition of Y-PAC CityCast. The City of Yakima provides multiple platforms you can access to find out what's going on with the City Council, city programs and services, and more. The City of Yakima website at yakimawa.gov includes information about every division and department in the city, as well as activities calendars, council meeting agendas, and videos of city meetings. The city's Facebook page links you to news releases, newsletters, and other important announcements from the City of Yakima. And the City of Yakima Twitter feed makes it easy for you to stay up to date with what's happening in our community, no matter where you may be. Visit the City of Yakima website, find us on Facebook, or follow the city on Twitter. We'll see you on the next edition of Y-PAC CityCast. I'm Randy Beeler. Take care.
For more information on Y-PAC CityCast, call 575-6092.